Hey, recently I did a video on property strategies that don't actually work. I've been involved in property for about 17 years now. We've made a great deal of money during that time. But here's the thing, one thing that we've learned that's been really valuable is ready to adapt when the market adapts. So why I think this video is going to be valuable for you, because we want to share with you the things that we're doing in our business to adapt and make the most of the current market. The property market is changing. It's evolved from what it was before. At the moment, what you've got is more people trying to sell than there is people trying to buy property. So that differentiation in terms of supply and demand means that there's more opportunities right now. So in our business, we're adapting the models that we're using, the strategies and techniques that we're using to make sure we're making the most of this current market. So let's talk about the first strategy we're using right now, and that is serviced accommodation. I'm joking, it's not serviced accommodation. One of the first strategies that we're focusing on right now, our primary objective is BMV, below market value. What does that mean even? So below market value is something that's less than the value. So for example, if something's worth £100,000 and we're purchasing for £80,000, we would say that's 20% below market value, or £20,000 below the market value. And the reason it's possible to get these kind of deals right now, and it was difficult for us to be doing this a couple of years ago, is because there's supply and demand. When there's way more people looking to buy, for example, a couple of years ago, if you saw a property that came up for sale, the for sale sign went outside, what you'd find is the estate agent would have an abundant amount of interest in that property. In fact, it'd probably go way over the asking price because there were so few properties available and so many more people chasing that one property. However, that's now flipped on its head. What that means is those properties that are on the market, many of those that need to sell are struggling. They're not finding the buyers. So although the asking prices haven't changed very much, what is changing is the flexibility in those sellers. They are being more flexible and willing to accept a lower price. Now with property, it's possible to make way more money when you buy than when you do anything else. So you may have heard the term, you make your money when you buy, and that's exactly what that means. If you're purchasing something that's £100,000 and you're buying it for £80,000, you are locking in £20,000 profit day one before you even do anything. When we're looking for BMV property, effectively what we're doing is focusing on people that are keen to sell, what we call motivated sellers. However, there'll be some motivated sellers, they're very keen to sell, but they don't have the ability to be able to reduce the price. They can't give you that discount, and there could be many reasons. For example, it could be that their debt is so high, the mortgage on that property is so high that there isn't really the profit that they've got, or the equity in that property, to be able to forego some of that in order for you to get the below market value deal that you want. Here, what we do is focus on more creative ways to control that property and create profit from it. So what this means is, rather than purchasing the property, we take control of that property. So for example, you may have heard the term rent to rent. That's a form of control. What you do, you rent the property from the landlord, then you are effectively either converting it to a HMO or service accommodation. You're controlling the property. So that's a method of control. Then you might have what we call an assisted sale. An assisted sale is a property that you're flipping, i.e. purchasing, renovating and selling. However, with an assisted sale, you don't do the purchase part, meaning you partner with the owner, you just do the renovation and then you sell the property and take your profit from that. So your return on investment on that can be way, way higher. Another way might be what's called a lease option, where you're leasing the property for a period of time in order to be able to purchase at some point in the future, but you agree the price today. You lock in the price today so you can create cash flow from that property, but also the long-term growth in the capital values. So the market is slow right now, it's depressed right now. It's starting to get, the prices are starting to fall. This is going to be a short period of time, then the market will start to recover again, prices will start to go up. We believe that in the long term. So if you're holding property now, you're controlling property on today's values, you're buying something today for £100,000 with hope that they're actually in the long term will be worth significantly more than that. But what if rather than buying, you could just control it? You could get control of that property, you can take benefit from it, but actually the capital growth is yours without even purchasing it. That's exactly what a lease option is. There's many, many different types of control strategies that you can use to be able to benefit from a property. But it's important we're working with motivated sellers. And as I said, in this market, there's an abundant amount of motivated sellers, and that abundance is only increasing, meaning the deals that are out there are absolutely phenomenal, what you can do, but the window is closing because this opportunity is not going to last long. So during this small window, and this window might last a year and a half, maybe 2 years at tops, that's my view. I think we've got that opportunity right now to make as much money as we can during this market while there's fewer buyers and there's more opportunities. So the other strategy that we're using right now, the third strategy, is flipping property. Hang on, You might be thinking right now, that sounds a little bit crazy. How do you flip property when the market's a little bit slower? But this is how we do it. First of all, we buy property at a really attractive price. We're buying below market value in the first place. So if it's a £100,000 property, we might be purchasing at £80,000. So you're already locking some profit day one. Or it might be that we're going to partner with the owner of that particular property using some kind of assisted sale, as I mentioned earlier on, so that we're not even purchasing it, but we've got access to the property. We might not have the discount, but we haven't had to put the funds in to purchase the property. So then we add value to that property, make it a nice property, make it nice and attractive. That could be from just a simple tidy up of the property, it could be a light refurbishment, or it could be a much bigger refurbishment on that property. Now, the end goal is to create something that's worth significantly more than what we started with. That's what we try and do with a flip, so that we can create some profit. But the challenge in this market is when you're flipping property, once it's completed and ready, you take it to the market. As I started this video by saying, there are fewer buyers in this market. So how is it that we sell that property? So what we do is not only try and make it the most attractive property on the market by visually the way it's presented, the styling of the property, the layout and all these things, which don't cost a huge amount of money, just foresight and thinking through what you're doing. But more importantly, we price the property in an attractive way. So for example, let's say it's a £150,000 property, we might list it offers over £139,000. So we're listing it less than the market value. So effectively it looks really attractive to the buyers that are looking, but also the numbers mean that actually more people will pay attention to that property. So when the market's slower, it doesn't mean that nobody's buying property, it just means that fewer people buying property right now. So essentially what I'm saying to you is when the market adapts and it changes like it has now, we have to be ready to adapt and change. So our strategies that we use in property have evolved. These are the 3 core strategies that we're focusing on right now, because this is where we believe are the biggest opportunities in this market. That's what we're focusing on. That's what we're teaching our students and our delegates. And that's what I'm encouraging you to think about right now. But remember, that window is closing.